The prosecution and the defense, they sparred over the testimony of a forensic psychologist. Prosecutors also released dozens of new photos seen by the jury, revealing what police seized in the raid on Diddy's Miami Beach mansion. And the judge signed an immunity order to force Diddy's former executive assistant to testify. The judge had already ruled that she could not talk about coercive control, but she could discuss more broadly why victims may choose to stay in violent relationships or feel like they could not leave them. The prosecutor then asked, in fact, have you previously been retained by any of the defendant's attorneys here in this case? She responded, yes, I have.
Oh my God, you guys, come and sit down and shut the door. We have to talk about Diddy and that expert witness. Now listen, remember when I told y'all last week that the expert witness destroyed Diddy, and it's the strongest piece of evidence that the prosecution has provided? Well, one of the strongest pieces thus far. Remember how there were people in my comments? Tisa, what are you talking about? Everybody said the defense needed to do what needed to be done. The defense ate up that expert witness. The defense destroyed the expert witness. Well, you know who doesn't think the defense destroyed the expert witness? Diddy. Do you know who thinks, that agrees with me so much, that the expert witness did so much damage to Diddy's case that it was like a bomb was dropped? Diddy. And you know who's trying their best to get all the expert witness testimony stricken from court? Diddy. But let's get into this, because like with everything Diddy's team's doing, it's giving desperate, it's giving confused, it's giving stupid, but it's giving let's talk about it, because baby, we love to see it. Again, if this isn't confirmation of just how powerful that expert witness testimony is, I don't know what is. Listen, maybe say what you want. Listen, you talking about Diddy ended the expert witness? Nah, baby. Diddy is trying to erase the woman who ended him. Y'all talking about the expert witness bomb? Please. Then why are they trying to strike her testimony? Anyway, now listen, y'all already know the deal. Let me give y'all a little precursor, right? Diddy's media minions, and you can't tell me Diddy hasn't put $7 million into trying to push the narrative, are out here pretending that let's call her Dr. Don Hughes flopped on the stand. But behind the scenes, they are begging the judge to delete her entire testimony from the record. Why? Because she didn't flop. She finished him. And now they're trying to play stupid, manipulative, gaslighting Jedi mind tricks to the court into pretending nothing happened. They want the jury. And if you guys don't know, I know what you guys are saying. Oh my God, but the jury already heard it. The damage is done. Yes and no. When the jury isn't allowed to just say, yeah, not guilty, guilty, you have to show your work. You have to point to the testimony and point to the evidence that supports why you feel that way. So if that testimony is stricken, if they say, well, I feel like Cassie was abused and this is what abused women do, you have to say, well, what in the testimony gave you that idea? Without Dr. Hughes, it's just a feeling you have. And you're not just allowed to make judgments of guilty or not guilty just off of vibes. You are looking at the evidence submitted and finding out what facts is, okay? But first of all, let's talk about the nerve of Diddy. Listen. Diddy's team was doing victory laps. All his media minions were acting like Dr. Don Hughes got cooked by the prosecution. Like she got up there and embarrassed herself or something. This is the woman that testified in R. Kelly's trial. This is the woman that testified in the Johnny Depp trial on Johnny Depp's side. And she's the reason Amber Heard lost, right? This woman is like triple board certified, deck on deck. She trains people at colleges. She trains. When I say this woman's been doing this for 30 years and doing it well, baby, believe me when I say, okay? So y'all are trying to act like she came up there and embarrassed herself. Okay, even if we believe that, so why is Diddy team trying to strike her entire testimony like she never existed? It sounds to me like Diddy agrees with me, like somebody is shook. Now listen, it's important to distinguish between their PR and their panic. This is directly from the motion. They filed a motion in court to remove this. Yana, the testimony amounted to an assertion that the victims are all unique and no memory lapse can readily be attributed to credibility problems. This is not proper expert testimony, but a Rochebaugh ink blot calculated to support any argument the prosecution may need. Now, if y'all don't want to know what that translation is, baby, they're mad. They're mad she didn't give them a clean shot at discrediting the victims. Instead, Dr. Don Hughes told the jury not every weird memory is a lie, and that ruins their whole gaslighting defense. That's all she said. She explained why victims of traumatic abuse have weird memories, why it doesn't line up, why it seems funny. And again, when they're saying, listen to what they said though, right? Right? Now listen, insaneness, they are playing basically legal whack-a-mole. They're not saying Dr. Hughes, Dawn Hughes lied. They're saying she said too much truth in a way that was too relatable. Like, oh my God, you guys, Yana, she said we instead of victims. Now the jury might empathize. Now, listen, this is a direct quote from the article. Well, I'm sorry, the motion. Yana, she stopped referring to the victims as they, and they started using the pronouns we and you. Really? It's too relatable? It's too relatable? Imagine being so scared of a woman's pronouns that you call it prejudicial. Diddy's team said take her out because she's getting a little too real. Now listen, here's the reason they want her gone. Because she anticipated their entire defense strategy. Let's not forget that she has testified on big name cases. She knows the dirty games people play, and she knows how a lot of people are ignorant, either by no research or willfully ignorant about what actually happens in sex trafficking, what actually happens in PTSD, trauma to children, trauma to vets, trauma to women, trauma to people with disabilities. She knows the games that these people play not to pay either victims or to completely discredit victims so nobody goes to jail, right? She basically told the jury, victims might apologize, go along with things they don't want to do, stay in relationships despite abuse. It's about survival. Anybody that's ever been in an abusive relationship or knows somebody that's been in an abusive relationship or bothered to pick up one single thing and read about abusive relationships knows this to be the God honest truth. But you guys, again, that completely undercuts the idea that anyone staying with Diddy and not immediately reporting it equals a lie. So if you stayed with Diddy or you saw the abuse and you didn't immediately report it, you must be lying. No. Dr. Hughes gave her expert testimony that's backed up by science and books and not people on blogs, media, YouTube, and TikTok. And don't get me wrong, you know I love, by the way, follow me on Snapchat, YouTube. Also follow me, well, you're already on YouTube. Follow me on TikTok. Please don't forget that I am going to be out in the courthouse every single day giving numerous updates, live watching, and baby, listen, and baby, we are also going to be, we have the transcripts too, so it's going to be good. Okay, and watch out for my podcast that is launching this week. Okay, anyway, right? It's going to cover the Diddy trial, but a few other cool things too. Anyway, right? Get back to Dr. John Hughes. She basically turned their favorite victim blaming tropes into deaths. And now they're trying to act like she summoned the devil on the witness stand. Stop it. The legal BS, I'm sick of them, and they're hiding behind it. They say she disobeyed court rulings. Funny, the judge sitting there didn't think she disobeyed court rulings. They said she gave junk science about memory. It's not junk science. It's the foremost leading preemptive preliminary science on what is going on. They said it was overly emotional and persuasive. There was nothing emotional in her testimony or persuasive. Even when they were coming at her, she was cool, calm, and collected. I was in the courtroom. There was nothing emotional about this. It was all very scholarly, right? And she stepped into the jury's job of judging credibility. She made no thing. She just kept saying what she finds, basically. So basically, they're trying to say that Dr. Hughes made too much sense, and now they want a do-over. This literally said from the motion, Yana, this is junk science intended to mirror the testimony of the government's witnesses and gloss over the serious problems those witnesses have keeping their story straight. Or, Mr. Agnifilio, she explained trauma and memory in a way that made you look like the villain, and now you're crying junk science. Baby, let's talk about the coping strategies and the love bombing. They hated that she explained why victims stay, why memories may be fragmented, and how power, control, and love bombing keeps victims trapped. Baby, Diddy's team said she used the phrases love bombing. Like that's not on every TikTok For You page since 2019. Mark Acton Philly, you'll have a seat. You're now trying to say that love bombing is a foreign phrase? Are you serious? And the fact that they are saying that because she described what abuse looked like and because that's exactly what happened with Diddy, that can't be used? Baby, here's why this motion to me actually screams guilt. When you ask a judge to strike a witness after the jury heard them, that's desperation. If the jury buys what she said, Diddy's whole defense goes up in smoke. I said this once and I said it again. I hope this motion proves what I've always said. They are not just scared of the truth. They're scared of how easily she translated that truth into language the jury could feel. Again, this part needs to be said out loud. She said, quote 1, victims use a lot of strategies. They just don't work. Baby, that is not just science. That's a sermon. The jury heard that and they could feel the defense table sweating. She also said, she's a highly experienced expert witness and knew exactly what she was doing. Okay, this is directly from Diddy's team's mouth. Yeah, I know she's a highly experienced expert witness and she knows exactly what she's doing. Yes. And what she did was bury Diddy in front of a federal jury. Your Honor, this is another quote they said out the motion. Your Honor, Hughes explained that sometimes victims don't disclose until society changes and they feel like they're not alone. Baby, she said the quiet part out loud. She connected this case to the entire Me Too moment, and they knew it. Baby, listen. Again, I hope this proves everybody right. Don't listen to the BS online. Dr. Hughes did her thing, and Diddy's team is being destroyed in court, and this motion proves it. They don't want to strike a witness unless the witness hit a nerve. Dr. Dawn Hughes didn't just testify. She wrecked the foundation of Diddy's defense, and now they're trying to rewrite the script like she never opened her mouth. So while Diddy's press team is on Twitter talking about she flopped, on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram, and in the major media outlets, the legal team is behind the scenes crying to the judge, Your Honor, please make the bad lady disappear. Baby, this is pathetic, but guess what? We love to see it. Anyway, you guys, listen. Don't forget to turn your notifications on. Y'all know I'll be out there in the court Tuesday through Friday this week, windmilling. There is no court today, but in the meantime, I will talk to y'all later. And let me know what you think in the comments. Is this what you felt? Are you glad that Diddy has vindicated the expert witness? Baby, I'd love to see it. Anyway, y'all, let me know what you think in the comments. Bye.